Welcome back, everybody. It's a great day, another great week, another edition of the podcast. Unfortunately, one of our esteemed colleagues will not be able to join us for scheduling purposes. However, we bring back one of our very well traveled analysts, our commissioner. How you doing?
My team sucks.
My team's worse.
And usually he's a nice fill-in, shoe-in, substitute type teacher, bare minimum, bottom line guy. Mr. Norell, welcome back to the program.
Thanks for having me, kid.
But yeah, we just try to offer the best, and Bob, you're the best substitute that we can get for Andrew's replacement. Let's just get it started here. What happened last week? Yeah. Let's just start right at the bottom. We had our shoe-in, our fill-in, Mr. Norell had a nice disappointing loss to the guy that will not be named. My year came out and dominated you. What happened out there?
Well, I'm actually surprised by my team's performance. My team's actually really bad. If I would have just gotten some production from my wide receivers, maybe it would have been a closer game. But, yeah, he just got some really good performances, and my guys just didn't step up to the plate.
Yeah. Commissioner?
Yeah, I mean, he just had a lot of big games, and then the rest of his team kind of just sucked. But Bob's team overall is just pretty bad. So, I mean, it represents the worst of the South Division right there. But so I guess somebody's got to finish in last in that division, unfortunately.
Yeah. Great week by Erica. Maybe this puts him back on track a little bit for a potential late push in a weaker South Division that it is. However, I don't know. Bob, it just seems like it's week after week. It's the same thing for you. Really not much to say. All right. Well, moving on. Mr. Gibson and Mr. Mishler. This was the battle of the two worst teams according to the record wise, where it was a low point total and Mr. Mishler came out on top. Kyle, your thoughts on this matchup and how Robert came out on top?
Yeah, I mean, just Matt's team's not very good. Not a great performance again this week. Robert kind of got away with one. You see a -5 on the board. Usually you don't win with those, but he was able to get away with that one. So he needs to get about every win possible. One more loss, and he's on the borderline of every year in the league. 7-6 has got in off tiebreakers. So not must wins, but about as close as you can get.
Yeah. Bob, your thoughts on this matchup? Robert's,
Yeah, Robert's that cold start's paying off for him because he's getting all the good guys on the waiver wire like Ajayi. So, yeah, I don't really have much to say about it except Gibson's team is probably just as bad as mine. So, yeah, that's all I have to say.
Yeah. Not much here either, but let's just hope Robert's team doesn't catch a hot streak. Him being in my division, obviously, but Gibson's team's just it's not the greatest team he's got going. I mean, he may want to unload a little bit. Moving on, our commissioner's game versus our former. Not our former, but our colleague that he was unable to attend this broadcast. And Mr. Andrew Price came out victorious. Kyle, thoughts on your disappointing loss?
Yeah, I mean, you see 2 zeros up there. Started Thursday night with a 0. Made it closer than I would have thought. Picked a good week to play Andrew. His running backs are top 2, but everybody else kind of, left some to be desired. Thought I could maybe get him in the end. And then you get a 6-6 tie in the Sunday night game, so you're not going to get much production out of that. But it's tough. It's 2 in a row. It's tough.
Yep. Bob, thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, I mean, if Kyle would just gotten anything out of Nelson or Robinson, maybe this game goes the other way. It's tough when your kicker is the second highest score on your team, but Kyle put up a nice little effort, but just wasn't enough. Allen Robinson and Jordy Nelson are pretty down years right now, so it's kind of fucking you over.
Yeah, I saw that it was going to come down to that Sunday night matchup, Kyle, and it was just a bad game to watch, and nothing really came out of it on both ends. I mean, he got 16 points. I didn't even realize that out of David Johnson. But, keep fighting, keep grinding. I know you won't give up, but you just got to keep fighting, keep grinding. That's what playoff teams do. Moving on, we have the number one team in the league versus the other guy. Another easy win, easy performance. Just it's taking his lunch pail and his hard hat to work every day, and just clocking in, clocking out. Bob, thoughts on Hutch's another victory, 7 in a row?
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like every move he makes, it's the right one. Yeah, he just does it week in and week out. Mild consistency. It's Patriots of our league.
Wow. Kyle, thoughts on your rival?
As much as I hate seeing him win, definitely needed a win out of him this week. Got to keep Joe behind me in the standings. As I said with Robert, Hutch probably doesn't automatically get in the playoffs, but I mean, all but is in the playoffs right now. Having said that, would it be the greatest thing in my life if Hutch somehow didn't get in the playoffs this year? Yeah, that would be the greatest thing that ever happened to me. So, happen? No, probably not. I don't see this one happening. I think he lost 2 or 3 straight last year. I don't think he can lose 6 straight games. So we'll see.
That the finish to that would be crazier than the start of the season if he were to lose 6 games straight.
That would be insane.
To his credit, he's gotten better every year. He was the worst in the league, kind of middle of the pack. Tried to make the playoffs, and now he's basically guaranteed a spot. I guess credit to him, he's getting better each week, or each year, I guess. And this year, blowing everybody out of the water. It's unreal. And then last but not least, my game last week, easy victory for me. Nothing too fancy on my side. Just a great overall team victory. Love it. Everybody came out to play. We had a great locker room talk. It was good. It was good. Kyle, thoughts on my victory over Mike?
Yeah, I'm starting to feel a little bad for Mike. I mean, he goes most of the year where Andrew Luck doesn't do that great, but his other team does pretty good, and then he loses. Luck does pretty good, and then the rest of his team kind of sucks, and he still loses. I mean, he can't really buy one this year, but I guess that's what you do when you draft Andrew Luck. I don't know.
Bob, thoughts on this matchup?
I don't really have much. I mean, it's hard for Mike to win when you get a guy getting 0 from your running back, and then you get a 3 from your number 2 wide receiver. So, yeah, that's all I have to say, really.
Yeah. It's not been a strong year for Mike. Mike's always been one of those guys that's right around this time. He's flirting with first in the division, it seems like, and he's nowhere near that this year. But I don't know. We'll see where it heads up for Mike. But any other pressing thoughts or issues before we move on to previews of next week from either of you?
We did have a trade.
What, one trade?
Yep, one trade.
It was between you and
me and Kid.
And Bob.
Oh yeah. Who'd you give him again?
Bob, you want to lay out?
Well, for weeks now, Kid has been trying to get a trade out of me, and so at this point, I just I accepted one just to get him off my back, and my team's 2-5, so I mean I have nothing really to lose. So I gave him Des Bryant for Terrell Pryor and Cole Beasley, who has been the Cowboys' number 1 target. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he does come back this week, right?
Yeah, he comes. Yeah, he's supposed to come back this week.
I mean, I don't know if Cole Beasley maintains number one status, but I think
I know.
open
I
trouble
mean,
playing quarterback at that point because I mean, you would start him as a receiver and get the quarterback points. That would be my hope.
I'm just hoping that I mean, Prescott and Beasley have had these first 8 weeks to build a rapport together, and Des Bryant hasn't been there to do that, so maybe he's more passes.
Des Bryant could easily get hurt again. Yeah. Like he's very injury prone, so I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I made the move more along the lines of Cole Beasley I picked up last week, wasn't ever going to play him. I just didn't want anybody else to have him. And Terrell Pryor, I feel like he exhausted all I exhausted everything I could got all out of him. And I'm hoping that Romo comes back and is the starter for the Cowboys and not Prescott. Yeah. Prescott, however you say his name, and Des Bryant and Romo just, go back to the good old days. That's my thinking. I hope that's the way it rolls out, and I have another good receiver on my hands. So we'll see where it goes. But that was I think that was all the activity that really was happening. Whether it was, smack talk or trades, that was kind of about it this week, right?
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on, we'll do a little bit of preview for Week 8. Wow, already Week 8. Man, it's gone by quick. It has gone by quick. Wow.
Draft feels like yesterday.
Here we go. I know. I want to draft again. All right, let's start back at the bottom. Another roommate matchup. Mr. Henry and legit best team on paper. Wow. Doesn't look like Mike's looked at his lineup yet. However, Kyle, thoughts on this potential? They're both last in the North matchup.
Probably must win for Robert. I mean, I'll say it's a must win for Mike, but I don't really see him going very far like the rest of the season. So I think Robert has a team to make a run, but I think he has to win this. Like he absolutely has to win this game. Otherwise, I mean, can't afford to throw away a game against Mike.
No, definitely not. Bob, thoughts on this matchup in the North? I mean, like Kyle said, this is a must-win for both teams.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it really matters who Mike plugs in for Sterling Shepard. I think he's going to lose this matchup.
Oh yeah, Mike's been he's been rocking with Bernard and Jones as his running backs for the last 4 weeks. Those guys are terrible. I mean, I don't know what he thinks with those guys. But yeah, I'm going to be pulling for Mike here on the fact because Robert's team going forward, potentially if he makes a run, is a lot better. Like you said, Kyle. I just would, if Mike can get a win, it'd be a lot safer down the road. Moving on.
Mike still scores surprisingly more points than you would think that he would score. Like he has scored in the 90s more often than you would think.
He does. I mean, he scored 95 against 94. Yeah, that's a good week. All right, we got Mr. 7-0 versus I got Gibson, who's also tied for last in the North at 2-5. We got three teams in the North Division that are tied at 2-5. Bob, thoughts on this matchup and who can win? Who's going to win?
Chalk another one up for Joe or for Hutch. I just really don't like Gibson's roster at all. I don't trust any Bears players. I've never trusted Jarvis Landry. So, and Landry's on a bye. And yeah, I think it'll be a bloodbath. 8-0 Hutch.
Kyle?
Yeah, I don't know who Matt's got on his bench, but he's got the bye week woes. I mean, hey, this be a great way to start his downfall. Great way to start Hutch's downfall right here with a loss to Gibson.
That'd be ideal, I guess. Like you said, 3 guys on buys. I mean, yeah, like you said too, Bob. You can't Alshon Jeffrey, you can't trust in a non-PPR league like we're
especially
in.
with Cutler coming back. Hey,
Yeah.
I think Cutler helps Jeffrey though, because he like targets him way more than Hoyer does.
Yeah.
they suck.
They still suck, but like I feel like he might get more targets now.
We'll see. Who did? Can you show who he has on his bench?
Yeah, I can. Hold on. Ooh, I didn't.
It does suck that he has Bortles as his quarterback. He's been pretty bad.
Yeah,
That's his.
you can't put Phillip Rivers against at Denver either.
Yeah.
So
It's it.
So
Gibson, if you're listening, I have Cam Bryant, Drew Brees, and Derek Carr. So if you want to make a trade,
Well, I mean, this is pretty easy for him. This is what all he has to do. He'll put Jeremy Hill up. He'll move Marvin Fitzgerald in for Landry. I mean, it's not a terrible lineup when you look at it that way either. You know, when Gibson just makes those two simple moves.
yeah.
So,
But I mean,
pick up a defense too. I mean,
and a defense, but yeah.
Bortles is bad.
So, yeah.
Bortles
I mean, but also
Bortles could go
he's
for
got that
25
Thursday.
in a week.
What'd you say?
So Bortles could go for 25 at any time. He's due. He's definitely due.
Yeah. I mean, and it's that but it's also that he plays on Thursday, and we're not big Thursday night guys here. But you never know.
I mean, Allen Robinson put 0 up on a Sunday. So what does that mean about Thursday?
Good point. Yeah. You know, maybe Tom Brady slows down a little bit this week because he's been pretty spectacular since he's came back.
I don't know. I don't see.
But
run the ball in New England, they just stopped believing in it. That's a fair ball, ref.
Yeah. But moving on, yeah, I'm probably gonna go with Hutch too, but maybe Gibson can squeak out, or maybe Hutch has a bad week. But all right, next one we got Bob versus the other guy. Wow. Bob, quick thoughts on your matchup.
I'm gonna lose.
Okay.
Yeah, Bob, like, definitely still needed to win games, especially against Joe.
I mean, once me and Kibbs trade comes through, Michael Floyd will be out of my lineup, and Sean Jackson might be out of my lineup. So, and then also the other guy has contacted me on a trade. Don't know if I'm going to do it yet, but we'll see.
No, is it okay? Never mind. Kyle.
Yeah, I definitely want Bob to win this game. The thing about Joe, you know, he kind of just puts up his 85, 95 point games. You know, says, "Hey, beat me." We probably won't, but we definitely want you to. Just trying to keep my second place in our division and hopefully, you know, be able to sneak one in over, you know, into the playoffs. That's really what the game plan is for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I also wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind Joe losing either, on the fact that because it doesn't look like I'm going to win on my division, and the fact, you know, points wise and people getting in the playoffs. That way, I don't have to worry about that on my end. But I'm probably going to go with the other guy too, Bob. I'm sorry. Just with the sure fact that I trust his players a lot more than I trust your players. I mean, same thing when it came to Mike's matchup. So you're just players I can't trust. Moving on, we got called a must-win versus my year. Wow, already declaring it. Wow, that's week 8. It is must-win season, I guess. Well, call it a must-win. What are your thoughts on your matchup?
I'm looking at it, and I like the defenses that I'm playing. I'm not scared of any matchup this week, which is good. You always like to see that. Could I go 4-4 and still make the playoffs? Probably, but I don't want to have to like get that upset again over a fantasy football game, guys. It's not going well. It's 2 losses in a row. It's been ugly. Me and football have a love-hate relationship right now. I hate it. Most of the games last week, just kind of sat around and cried myself to sleep. But hopefully we can get back on track this week.
Bob, thoughts on this matchup?
I will say I think Jordan Nelson's going to have a bounce-back week this week. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to stray away from him too far, but you're also playing against Aaron Rodgers, so that we'll see how that works out. If Eric, especially if Eric keeps, or the one we don't name keeps Theoretic in the lineup, you'll definitely win. So
Yeah, I don't know what he's thinking with that. But this almost is a toss-up matchup. It's going to be a close game. To me, I feel like. Kyle, I mean, obviously Allen Robinson, you want to trust a guy, but I mean, it's hard to trust that guy. That's like me and DeAndre Hopkins right now. It's hard to trust a guy that's not performing. I mean, let's look at his stats this year.
Not good.
It's hard to trust this guy, but I don't know. I'm gonna go with I don't know. I mean,
do you have anyone better to play than Matt Seattle?
No, not.
What?
I have 3 running backs on bye this week. Well, I guess 2 because 2 of them play on the same team, but Hyde and Rashad Jennings better, but he's also on a bye.
Yeah, that's.
He's hoping for a touchdown out of that guy. Like 7 points, that's a good day. Considering putting in Sanders over Robinson Thursday night, but then if I don't play him, he's going to have 35. So it's like,
yeah, I mean, it's that Thursday night thing too, Kyle. I mean, it's scary.
It's up there for debate. You think? I mean, I don't know. I should play
Tomorrow.
Sanders so I don't hate myself every time Sanders has like 9 points and Robinson has 3.
Kyle, I'm gonna go with you on the sure fact that we're big check mark guys too, and you have more check marks.
I have a lot of check marks.
So I'll go with you. But like I said, it's hard to trust Allen Robinson when he isn't doing much at this point in the season. All right, and last but not least, my matchup versus Andrew.
This is gonna be a good game.
Nah, I mean I've not really. Just my quick thoughts. My 2 running backs, Gurley and Bell, are both on buys. That's pretty much the only 2 guys that I are worried about, and I had to fill in. But I got 2 good fill-ins for them, I feel like. So we'll see where that goes. But Andrew, like Kyle, you referenced earlier, he's got the 2 best running backs in the NFL right now, in fantasy purpose-wise, I guess. But Kyle, thoughts on this matchup between Andrew and I?
Yeah, I think without your top 2 running backs, obviously puts you in a huge hole. I mean, you just got to kind of hope he doesn't play that great, to be honest. You got some tough matchups, too. I see Arizona twice, obviously. Denver. I don't know if you count Houston good anymore, but they might be sometime. I don't know. But, yeah, so it'll be tough for you to win. This is a tough one for me. I want to stay ahead of Andrew in my division, but at the same time, I'm probably not going to win it. So I don't want you to get too far ahead, of me for the whole, 3rd spot in the playoffs, 3rd, 4th spot in the playoffs. So I don't really know who I want to win this game. A tie would not piss me off.
Bob.
Yeah, I mean, I guess after listening to you guys and looking at it, I think Andrew will probably win this one. I mean, it sucks for you, Kib, that DeAndre Hopkins has been jack shit this year. Maybe Ty Montgomery will get you some points with that split running back, wide receiver thing, whatever he's doing. But yeah,
we'll see.
I'm gonna go with Andrew.
Yeah, I kind of expected that. Yeah,
Kid, you can't play him in your flex. You got to put him in a spot. Like, just move him with one of your guys already in. Just you know what I mean? Like, you got to put him in one of them. It doesn't make any sense to have him at your flex.
You want me to put him where Jacqueline Rodgers is in the
position spots? Because like you're wasting the golden opportunity to play a guy in 2 positions.
Good point. Because of flex, I played tight end there before. So okay, I will. I'll do it right after this. But. Yeah, this should be probably one of the better games. This is like your Sunday night game, I guess. Is what you watch on TV.
Not Sunday night's game. Otherwise, we'll have like a 30-30 tie.
Yeah, that would be terrible. But
definitely best game of the week, though.
We'll see. And I feel like this is my best picture and best team name so far. But we'll see where it goes from there. That's all we got for previewing of next week. Any housekeeping before we end the podcast? Any sponsor ads or deals or anything you guys want to give a quick shout out before we end this? Bob?
I don't really have much to say besides go Tribe.
All right. Figured that. And Commissioner, any housekeeping things you want to address us with?
Just going off what Bob said, don't want anyone to win this World Series, but I had to pick one. It wouldn't be the Cubs. We'll just say that. And second, the idiot who set up our league put a trade deadline on, so make sure I turn that off before it happens. Never had one of those, and I don't even remember seeing as a rule. So just make sure I don't leave that on.
Well, maybe
Kid might die if I put a trade deadline on.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Maybe we should keep the trade deadline because of Kib.
No, keep it, but still be able to make trades even though they still won't go through. That I would still just want them. Nothing really over here. Tribe and 5. I feel like I've kind of gave that to the Indians. Their slogan. I made that way back, back in like July when they were, they were going to win it. However, like I usually close everything. Let's hope for a good week, and let's hope everybody else's players get hurt and mine don't. And everybody have a good week. All right.